Well, here we are again for another exciting Clash of the Community here at the Community Clash Monster Truck Series, round 4 at Pinewood Hills Speedway. And it's over near the East Coast. Everybody from the Beam Motorsports and BeamNG community know exactly where the East Coast is. Well, this is just off the map. I'm Benjamin Butler. With me always is Austin Spence. And Austin, this is an insane looking racetrack we got going on here.
East? I thought you said west. Nah, man, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is a beautiful racetrack here built by Mr. Bobcat Designs. And this is a complete fictional track. This is 100% ground up build. And Bobcat did an amazing job. Takes place, I would say this is more or less inspiration from the hills of Virginia, of Appalachia. And it's a beautiful track. And Ben, we're mixing it up after 3 weeks of doing events with the Community Clash with Beam Motorsports. We're turning tonight. We're actually doing a turning course. I'm actually really excited about this.
Yeah, this is your typical Chicago-style track. Drivers got to be really careful, especially getting out here on the flat. You get up onto the banking and it causes some real problems for you.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing that we love here at B Motorsports, I know a lot of our drivers don't really like it, are these little humps. And you've got 4 of them you got to worry about. For those who've never watched monster truck racing before and maybe a little new to this, Chicago-style racing is, well, more or less 2 dogs chasing one another in a circle. So one's going to be starting on one end, the other's going to be on the opposite, and they're going to be chasing around, and you're going to be finishing on the same lane that you're ending on. So when you're looking at this track here, not only do you have a center set of cars, you have 4 rollers you have to time perfectly to try and keep momentum as you're going through the turns, and you're trying to go through 2 different sets of no man's land to keep up momentum and get the racing win here tonight.
Absolutely, Spence. It's going to be an action-packed race here tonight. Looking forward to seeing how some of these drivers. We also got some new faces on the series with us. We got Greenhorn, we got Sweet Tooth. I think we've seen Sweet Tooth in qualifying, trying to make some events. Hasn't quite made it in some of these. We're about to move to the action right now in our first round. We're going to have Whiskey Maneuver, our top qualifier, going against Power Surge, Crywolf. Only seen this truck a couple of times out here, Spence.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, Crywolf is very new to the scene. You know, I remember we were talking to him a little bit during practice. He's still figuring out all the bugs a little bit in that old Ford and just running the leafers in general. Meanwhile, you got Mr. Jonathan Robinson over there in the right lane in Whiskey Maneuver, who is a bit of a veteran when it comes to racing virtual monster trucks. And, you know, like you said, he is our #1 qualifier, so that truck is dialed. It's bad fast, but we have a turning course. These turns can be unforgiving. Trucks are on the converter. It's time to go racing.
There's the staging lights right there, and there's the green, and they're both off. Whiskey Maneuver out of the hole first slightly, but it's pretty neck and neck as of right now.
As of right now, absolutely. A little bit of a weird bounce for Power Surge, and like I said, these rollers are going to make or break your run. You don't want to jump these because that suspension is going to react in a way to where you're going to be bouncing all over the track, and Jonathan Robinson is showing exactly that. He is putting this truck through the paces to the wood, and he is going to soar across that roller into the final set of cars, and Whiskey Maneuver is going to be moving on to the next round.
The awesome thing about this series right here, Austin, is we got every week it's pretty much a new thing. These guys are almost like a set of beta testers for us to make sure we can bring a great product to everybody. We were worried about some issues with the tires. We haven't seen that so far racing around out here tonight, so maybe our luck has changed with that.
Ben, this was just race number 1. We still got, you know, we got 16 virtual monster truck racers want to come out and put it all out here on the line and battle it out, duke it out here, the Community Clash. And this is event 4 of our 10 event series. And I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot here, but I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But like you said, we're constantly developing. I shouldn't say we, mainly our boy Bobcat is doing a bunch of the work when it comes to updating and tweaking this mod to where it is as realistic as humanly possible. And he has been just grinding tooth and nail and trying to get everything he can as far as like some of the tire issues we've had in the past really dialed in, so that way we have no more issues moving forward. So if we have any of those issues, you'll be in for a treat here tonight. But it seems like everyone's running good. No one's been having any issues. Well, we're getting ready for race number 2 right now. Ben, who do we got coming to the line?
And we got the Broad Street Bully, E.G. Lately from Philadelphia. Going to be taking on one of our newcomers, Spence. It's going to be Greenhorn with Mad Viking from Denver, Colorado. It's a perfect truck for him way up there in the Rocky Mountains.
That's a beautiful looking truck. I would honestly argue we've had the Greenhorn truck in quite a different series that we've had over on the channel. And Greenhorn is a beautiful truck, obviously made by, again, Bobcat Designs. But Broad Street Bully, Mr. Philadelphia, I just hope he doesn't choke like their sports teams do up there in that big city. So hopefully for E.G. Lately, he'll be able to come up with a win. But we'll see what this newcomer has got for us with that Greenhorn truck.
And there's the staging lights right there. Yeah, E.G. runs a lot with the All-Out Destruction Tour Monster Truck Series running the CRD, and this is quite a big step in a big different direction for him. He's out in the lead, got a pretty good sizable lead right now on Greenhorn as Greenhorn loses a wheel.
Greenhorn loses the wheel over that hump and just throwing that truck every which way. Lost the left front wheel, seems to be having issues in the rear end, but it looks like E.G. Lately, if he's able to keep this truck under control, he's going to be able to run away with a win here.
That's what we were talking about, getting up on the banking. That's going to be the difference maker. We noticed a lot of issues with it. We made some track adjustments just for the race this evening to try to get them down off the banking. We brought the cones or the beer cans that you see on the screen in a little bit. That way that the trucks didn't have to go up on the banking. But the Greenhorn, he just flew over that set of cars and over that hill, and that really cost him his race right there because he got into the banking and it caused some damage.
Like I said, the main thing that is going to kill a run is if you are, I know we like seeing these trucks fly, we like seeing them go fast, but if your truck is in the air, you're losing time on the ground and gaining that traction. But, you know, congratulations to E.G. Lately and the Broad Street Bully that's going to be moving on to the next round.
Yes, Vince, that's the one thing that we made when we made the Community Clash. It's going to be a whole bunch of different tracks. You got to be able to adjust on the fly to all kinds of different situations, whether it's a long course or short course, turning course or straight course. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to consider when you get out here and run with the big dogs. The Community Clash Monster Truck Series will be Motorsports.
Absolutely. And speaking of big dogs, we have two of them coming out right now. We got Marky Jester in the Bombshell, and he's going to be taking on, well, you know what, Ben? I'm going to let you introduce this guy as he's coming out with a beautiful silver Chevy Silverado.
That's our good buddy Josh McClung from Parkersburg, West Virginia, driving the Iron Rose. This is a tribute to one of his fallen friends, more like a daughter to him, carrying on the name, and something that she enjoyed quite often was Bobcat's designs. She loved roses, so this truck is in honor of her. And Bombshell, last week's winner over here in the near lane on camera. He's been putting on some pretty good shows here as of late. He's creeping up there in the points series, but he's trying to hold strong and hold steady right here against Josh McClung, the founder of Beam Motorsports out here on the track.
Under Beam Motorsports, designed most of the trucks that we have in the field, and the creator of this exact track. I might almost say this might be home field advantage, but we're going to see what Marky Jester's got for him.
Well, it's a pretty close race so far. Iron Rose is keeping it down low to the ground. Nice turn from both of them. They're about equal right now as they head on down about midway through the course right here.
It is a very close race, and it looks like Iron Rose is edging out Bombshell by about a tire.
Well, Bombshell had to get out of the throttle there. He got a little bit sideways and was worried if he'd be able to make that corner, but Bombshell turns on the power and takes home a win.
Hold on there, Iron Rose. Don't scratch up that brand new truck.
Sliding right up to that beer can, getting nice and comfortable. Maybe he was thinking about drinking after the event. Well, he can get started early because Iron Rose goes on the trailer.
I tell you what, though, I love seeing that truck, and I love that we were able to come out here and we replaced our turning tires from what we had in practice and what we had in qualifying with actual cans, but we had an issue with some of the wind out here on this track. They kept blowing them away, so we got the great idea here at Beam Motorsports that we decided to anchor these beer cans down with concrete. And unfortunately, I think we got a little carried away because those things ain't moving, and they're going to damage your truck pretty quick if you end up touching one of those beer cans.
Yeah, what turned into a 20-pound inflatable has now turned into a 1,000-pound piece of solid rock underneath that beautiful exterior of the Beam beer designed can.
Oh, man, speaking of beautiful designs and beautiful trucks, We got our Canadian that's going to be coming out here. Bradley Shaw in Smash Squad is going to be taking on old Chauncey Gibbs and Axeman.
Chauncey Gibbs, usually running a diesel in his truck, has to switch to gasoline for this series alone, and it might end up paying him dividends. I think we've seen him in one other event. The problem he has is a really stiff suspension underneath the Axeman Dodge right there. A lot of hopping action out of that truck. So we're going to have to see if he's learned a thing or two over the past few weeks and see if we'll be able to put together a good, strong run here.
I think regardless, it's going to be a strong run, but you and I both know running against Chauncey Gibbs over in Retro Revolution, turning is his kryptonite with the Axeman truck. So I think Smash Squad is going to give him for a run for his money, but it's going to go down. I'm excited for this race. Both drivers are hit the green. Let's see who's going to come out on top.
Chauncey gets a lot of power out of that big, huge Dodge Hemi underneath that hood. He's got a tire going down. Oh, and he flips the truck over.
I called it.
Chauncey Gibbs up on his lid. Once again, another bank track takes a bite out of the Axeman.
All Brett has to do is just go cruise over the set of crush cars, and he will be moving on to the next set of rounds here at the Community Clash.
I'm guessing Gibbs. I'm guessing Gibbs is going to say the show needed it.
Absolutely, that's the motto here at Beam Motorsports. Hey, if you ain't gonna win, at least make the highlight reel. But you know what? Chauncey Gibbs had quite a hole shot out the gate with that Hemi. I mean, that Hemi power is no joke. But either something got a little cockeyed, something happened going over that roller over there, going into the turn, and it just took that boy for a ride. Tough break for Axeman, but you know what? I guess the show needed it. It was fun to watch.
A little bit of damage to the Axeman, but it's not horrible. He might be able to get that thing straightened out, but he ain't coming back this week. Oh no, he might be back in time for the next run. We're going to have to wait and see on that end of it.
You know, the amount of times that we have Chauncey Gibbs and Axeman come out here, you'd think we'd pay him enough to buy a hood for that truck.
Well, the diesel doesn't quite fit under the hood there, Spence.
Well, he doesn't have a diesel, so throw a hood on the thing. Make it a little bit more aerodynamic, unless he's going for a weight thing. But I can't imagine a fiberglass hood doesn't weigh that much.
And well, our next matchup should be a very interesting one. We got our point leader about to come to the line, Eli in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles truck. And he's going to be taking on another guy we haven't seen yet. This is going to be Sweet Tooth. Whenever they get around here to getting up to the line, there they come. They're coming out here on the track.
This is a match made in heaven, if you ask me. It's pizza versus ice cream.
It's going to be Sweet Tooth and Jay Pratt from Spokane Valley, Washington.
A beautiful area. I've been up to Spokane, Washington before. It's absolutely gorgeous up there. A lot of trees, very kind of similar to what we're doing here at the Community Clash at Pinewood Speedway. So probably feels a little bit at home, but man, that's quite a drive to come all the way out from Washington out to this event.
They're working on getting them all staged up here. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck's been running extremely well. The gentleman's very serious about his business. Lots of hours spent putting time into getting this truck ready for the events, and it certainly shows by leading the points.
Absolutely, but the thing is, when you're number one in the pack, that means you got a giant target on your back, and everyone is gunning for you. So if I was Eli, I'd be a little bit nervous because everyone is bringing their A game to each and every one of these events because they want to. When you're out on top, everyone wants to knock you down. Both trucks are on the converter, both waiting on the green light.
And there they go off.
Bit
Eli
of a delay there for
it was kind of weird.
Sweet Tooth, unfortunately.
Well, it was kind of weird. The light was green there for quite a while before they both decided to go. I don't know if there was some sort of communication issue or they couldn't see it or what the deal was, but Eli's well out into the lead on this one.
You know what? I can't be too hard on Sweet Tooth. You know, I think this is one of his first or second appearances here in the Community Clash. He's got a lot of learning to do, and you know what? This is a great way to do it. Like you said earlier, a lot of these guys are practically beta testers. They're testing out this mod. We're constantly changing things up and updating it. But there's a reason why Eli is number 1 in points. He made a very fast and smooth pass out here at Pinewood Speedway, and he's going to be moving on to the next round.
A lot of pretty good action so far. A lot of close races. One or two little spills and a couple boo-boos here and there, but other than that, everything has turned out good so far.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned boo-boos, because our next lineup that we have coming out here, Ben, well, is one of our own, and unfortunately, he has a bit of a handicap that he's got to face coming out here at the Community Clash here at Pinewood Speedway, and that's our good buddy Kyle Seasock, running Violent Impact, is racing one-handed.
Yeah, he had an accident at work for sure and dropped a huge piece of steel on his arm. Had to have surgery to get the issue taken care of, so he isn't quite healed up, but he said he's going to give it one heck of a shot out here. Going to be in a lot of pain trying to get around these corners. Don't really have access to your rear steer if you're only doing it with one hand, but I don't know, maybe he's done figured out something to help him get around this track a little bit smoother, a little bit faster.
I sure hope so, but you know, we know Kyle, his thing is make the highlight reel. If you're going to lose in style. So either he's going to somehow pull out a miracle and win with one hand in a major handicap here at Pinewood Speedway, or he is going to make sure that truck ends up in a bucket of bolts by the time he's done with this. So if I was sitting over in the other lane there, and I was North Star Nomad, I would not lighten up on Kyle just because he's got a slight disadvantage. Because knowing Kyle, he's going to go for broke.
Yeah, Lynn Rivera's been putting in a lot of work. One of the only people out here running a dual frame chassis. That's a lot of extra weight that he's carrying. So got to be able to carry that and run it a lot smoother than you would think. Both of these two guys right here are pretty evenly matched. Should be a good race here, Spence. There's the green.
I think you're absolutely right. So far, it's pretty dead even. Very even to the finish line there. So far, it's taking it nice and smooth from both trucks here. It's anybody's game. Kyle having a little bit of issues in that turn. Nomad having issues over that roller.
Nomad's got a right front tire going down. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down. Kyle's going to get on around that corner. He's got a tire down as well. Both of them charging to the finish line. It's going to be the North Star Nomad moving on to the next round.
Yeah, and like I said, he's either going to try and win or he's going to make the highlight wheel. A little bit of a little wheelie going over the set of crushed cars. Tough break for Kyle, but like I said, can't be too mad at the guy. He's running hurt. He literally has a giant cast on his arm, and he's doing everything he can. I don't know if he's just controlling throttle and brake, and then maybe his wife is sitting over there with the other side of the controller doing the steering. But regardless, good showing for Kyle Seasock of Violent Impact, but North Star Nomad will be moving on to the next round.
Hey, chain racing inside the truck. I control the rear steer, you control the front. This will be easy peasy, right?
I mean, would you trust your wife with that?
Next question.
So, speaking of making the highlight reel, Ben, we have a rematch in this next event. If you remember when we did our very first event, we had an insane crash from this matchup in round 1 of racing. This is Young McClung in Beach Party taking on Chris Gosler and Mothman. Now, both these trucks, when last time they faced off, neither truck moved on the next round because they were so wadded up from the race. Well, now they're back here facing off against one more time at Pinewood Hills Speedway. So I got to ask Ben, who you got your money on?
I don't know. That Mothman truck's been running extremely well. He's got a lot of smoke coming out of the back of the truck. I wonder what that's about. Young McClung down there in the Beach Party truck is usually a smooth competitor. He just was pushing it all out to try to beat Chris Gosler down here. And Chris Gosler ain't no slouch to come up against anyways. So these two right here have been butting heads for a while. We're about to see another round and another chapter in their history.
Absolutely. And the thing is about these McClungs, because we already saw Daddy come out here and unfortunately lost in Iron Rose. So we're going to see if old Young McClung can see if he can carry the torch and move on to the next round here at Pinewood Speedway. So far, it looks like Mothman's got a pretty demanding lead on him.
He whipped it around that corner, but he's got a lot of catching up to do. Mothman coming down here to the second to last hump. He makes it turn nice and smooth, trying to get around there. A lot of front end bouncing out of this truck. A lot carries the engine in the rear. A lot of weight to the rear. Going to make your front tires load. Oh, Beach Party getting in a little bit of trouble. He gets it shut down just in time, though, over there in the infield of the Speedway. Mothman's going to move on.
Congratulations to Chris Gosler and Mothman. You know what? I think if we got a second, should we bring Chris Gosler up here and maybe talk to him? Because I remember when we tried to interview him last few times, his microphone's been having issues. I think we finally got a nice new microphone down there in the pits, and maybe we get Chris Gosler up here, get an interview with him real quick, and just see how Mothman's treating him. There he is. Chris, how's the truck feeling, man, being out there in Mothman? You know, you're not ending up on your lid. You're actually getting through the races. How's the truck feeling tonight?
Oh, well, the truck's feeling good. I guess now we're having engine problems a little bit extra smoky today, but you know, we're doing good. We're doing real good. Feels good in the corners. Feels nice and planted. Can't complain. I think we're gonna go far tonight. I'm trying to win the whole thing.
That's awesome. And we were just talking about how this was a rematch between you and Young McClung Beach Party from the very first event where you both completely decimated your truck. So getting a win over him's got to feel good.
Kind of forgot he was driving, but it does feel really good now that you reminded me. I very much appreciate it.
All right. Well, you got anything you want to say to your competitors before we send you back to the pits?
You know what? Better watch out. I'm coming for you.
Absolutely. Better watch out for Mothman. Thank you, Chris. We look forward to seeing you in the next round.
Pretty good first round so far, Spence.
I know. We only had one rollover, and it wasn't even anything crazy or spectacular. Like everyone's actually learning to drive. It's crazy. But we have got one more round, one more matchup here in round one of racing, and it's going to be Pasture Pounder taking on Everett Skybolt. What do you know about this Everett Skybolt truck, Ben?
Well, we all know this guy. It's Kai from Everett, Washington. He was running Appalachian Dream for the first 3 events. He switched over to his own truck to run the rest of the season with. And Pasture Pounder with Joe Lobus out of Hartselle, Alabama, he's been running extremely well this year as well. He's one of those ones that likes to get put on the highlight reel as well. So you never know what to expect out of this guy, but you know it's going to be 100% full tilt.
Absolutely. You know, these are some of the rookies that I love seeing coming into this series, you know, freshly new into the Leafer mod and learning a little bit more about the old school aspects of the trucks and seeing how well these guys coming up in the points and how well they're driving. I mean, these guys are always top contenders every single weekend. So seeing these two line up in round one is going to be a good one.
And we're on the converters, and there it is. The green's off. Pasture Pounder's got, they're about even right now, it looks to me like, Spence.
It looks like Everett's got maybe a tire length on Pasture Pounder. Oh, no! Right front is gone on...
The Everett Skybolt has lost a wheel down here in the far or the near lane. Trying to get that thing pushed out of the way. And it's going to be the Everett Skybolt. He might be able to get that fixed back up. He's lost another tire as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. That was a pretty rough run for him.
It was a rough run, but luckily with those wheel studs, you know, studs don't cost that much money to replace them. Unfortunately, that's one of those things that they break all the time. It looks like it was just kind of a bad bounce coming off of the roller ramp at the end. But the fact that he was able to 3-wheel the truck over to a victory, kudos to him. But it looked like the broken off wheel messed up Pasture Pounder and kind of put a hindrance on his run. Could say it was foul play, but I'll kind of have to go down to the tech officials and see what the call is officially going to be.
They're going to move on with the Everett Skybolt.
Good deal. That very well deserved. Again, kudos to the way that they were driving and, you know, trying to keep it up on all, you know, I should say 3 wheels and not 4, having a bit of a hindrance. But now we're moving on to the quarterfinals. We're moving on in the round number 2. Coming back in round 2, this is going to be a matchup between Whiskey Maneuver and Broad Street Bully.
Both of these guys run extremely good. We're going to have to see exactly what they can do, if they can put together the right combination to get through this. This track is proving to be kind of rough on these guys.
What do you think is the biggest hindrance right now in this track that you're seeing out here after round 1? What do you think is kind of the maker to break it when it comes to this new turning course?
I think it's the second hump down here. So you got the first hump, like Whiskey Maneuver is sitting on the first hump right now, and then you got the set of cars. That second hump down there, how you attack that hump right there is what's I think that's what's making or breaking it, because if you're going too fast, you're going to carry too much speed up over it, and then when you land, you're bouncing and you're too far past everything. Whereas if you can come over it kind of gently and then sweep around the corner, that's what I've noticed from Whiskey Maneuver. If you watch him run, he sweeps around that corner, but he's not too aggressive, especially down there at that far end.
I couldn't have said it better myself, because I was noticing that as well. You know, these guys are nailing that first roller. The set of cars are downside, and they're keeping the trucks low. They're keeping the momentum going. But when they're carrying that momentum into that second roller, it's throwing them for a loop. It's bouncing them all over the place, and it messes up the turns.
Whiskey Maneuver hops off the line. So much torque coming out of that truck. That truck's engine package is well designed. And here, see both of these guys nice and smooth around that turn. Whoever can get around that turn the fastest, that's where you gain all of your time. The straight line isn't anything.
You're absolutely right. A little bit of no man's land. Looks like Whiskey Maneuver's getting bouncing a little bit wild and out of control, but he's able to somewhat keep it under wraps. Flying over that roller and into the finish line by about a truck length. Whiskey Maneuver is going to be moving around to the next round.
Very good run from the Broad Street Bully. I don't know if the CRD, how it handles switching over here to the Leafer. I don't know if that may have affected some of his drivings. Everything happens a lot slower, and if you're not used to that or ready to react to it, it can throw you off. I mean, remember a couple of times we've run with the CRD after messing with the Leafer for so long. Everything happens so fast when you're in a CRD because you're just carrying so much speed, and when you land, you land and you go. There's no real bounce to it. Whereas this, it's like riding a wagon across the open plains,
I was going to say more or less like riding a red flyer wagon down a dirt hill. Like,
yeah, that works too.
You have a little bit of steering and you're just going for a wild ride. Hopefully you were smart enough to put on a bicycle helmet, but I definitely do that when I was a kid. But anyway, so next matchup, we have another fan rate. We got Bombshell coming out to taking on, with Marky Jester taking on Smash Squad with Bradley Shaw. Battle of the Fords here, an old 79 dent side, old brick nose lining up. What do you think about this matchup, Ben?
Well, this one should be worth the price of admission. Both of these guys, especially over the last couple weeks. Last week's winner sitting over here in the near lane, Marky Jester and Bombshell. But Bradley Shaw hasn't been doing too bad himself. He's actually starting. You can tell the improving skills of Bradley Shaw. He's another one of those guys that runs the CRD a lot, and don't know if that's going to cause him any issues with this. First round really wasn't a test for him because of Chauncey Gibbs' rollover. And there's a green. Both of them get pretty much even so far into the race.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we understand, people sometimes get lucky, and sometimes luck is all you need, especially when it comes to trying to move up in the points. So far, Bradshaw's got a bit of a lead, but oh no.
Bradshaw's in trouble way over there.
Oh no, I spoke too soon. Bradley Shaw making
Bombshell's having all kinds of problems. Got 3 tires down. He's just going to have to creep over the cars. He might be able to get that repaired. Might not. We're going to have to check with our track official. That's a lot of repair to have to do in the second round. But he might be able to get it done.
That's very unfortunate for Bradley Shaw because it looked like Marky Jester and Bombshell was having all kinds of issues going into that final turn, and it looked like Smash Squad was going to walk away with that win, but got a little cockeyed off of those set of crush cars, rear end kicked up and over she went. Hate to see it on such a beautiful truck. All right, now we're waiting to hear back from our track official to see what the official statement is going to be, whether we're going to be bringing Marky Jester, who went down 3 tires. Now, in normal circumstances, we understand, we want to be able to keep the realism here with the community clash. And like we said earlier, a lot of these guys are coming in and running part of our series. They're essentially beta testers trying out new and updated versions of this mod because we are trying to give the best and greatest and best product that we possibly can when it comes to showing the amount of respect that these old school monster trucks rightfully deserve. So tough break on both drivers. One seeing the tires go down and the other having an unfortunate front flip. So always a great showing from both competitors, but you hate to see all that kind of damage happen.
I heard from the track official who said something about it might be a DQ on Marky Jester's part and Bombshell. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is with that. Might have to check with him a little bit tighter on that. But go ahead, Spence. What we got for the next matchup?
So our next matchup, we've got our point leader, Eli, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck in the left lane is going to be taking on North Star Nomad and that black and pink Chevrolet over there in the right lane. Now we know TMNT, this truck is number 1 points. This is the guy to beat. So if I was sitting over there in the other lane, North Star Nomad, I'd be a little bit nervous.
I'm still waiting for a word on that, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to jump into this matchup right here. Yeah, these two right here, this should be pretty interesting. Both of them running extremely good here tonight.
Hey, just because you got the fastest truck in the fleet doesn't mean that you're going to come out on top all, through and through. You could have all the power in the world, but if you can't keep that power down, you can't keep it on the track and get any kind of traction underneath you, all that power is worthless. So sometimes slow and steady is what wins the race. Consistency is key in these types of tracks.
Yeah, we've definitely learned that over the past couple weeks. The fastest guy on the course hasn't been the winner of the event, so got to be taking it pretty easy around that corner down there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles way out in the lead.
So far, it's a pretty demanding lead. He's already over the roller going into the turn before Nomad is already reaching there. Looks like this is going to be another win for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I'm liking how Eli has this truck set up. He goes around the corner. There's some bouncing, but it's nothing crazy, and he just kind of swoops it around the corner. There's no hopping action going through there. It's real nice and smooth. Reminds me of watching Whiskey Maneuver. And these two are on course to meet in the final round, so it might be a very interesting final round.
Well, we don't want to count them out yet because TMNT's got to go through one of these two competitors that will be coming out next. And our next matchup is going to be Chris Gosler and Mothman that we talked to earlier, and is going to be lining up against the Everett Skybolt.
Yeah, Kai's been running extremely well. He won our event at out in Clearbrook, Virginia, a few weeks ago, and ran extremely well at our initial event. I think he missed our third event that we had 2 weeks ago, but I think it's because he was designing this truck. That's what it was. He missed that event, so now he's out here with this new truck. We're going to see if he'll be able to put the pieces together. But these two right here are extremely fast. They're two of our strongest competitors. So it's going to be really neat to see how these guys handle this obstacle that's going to be in front of them.
Absolutely, Ben. And, because of all the tough breaks that we've seen with Chris Gosler and Mothman, you know what? I feel like I shouldn't put any money on a winner because I recently got a message from our buddy Chauncey Gibbs saying that I jinxed him in the race that he was running, saying that his kryptonite was turning and rolling over. So I feel like if I put anything out there as far as any of these drivers, I might be jinxing them. But I know for a fact this is going to be a good race. It's going to be fast. I'm excited to see who's got what it takes to come out on top.
Mothman still having that smoking issue coming out the back of that truck from his engine. I don't know if it's some sort of engine damage or he's running extremely fat to keep the fuel so he can make more power. But there's the green right there, and they're both off. And they're pretty even right now.
So far, it looks like Mothman's got a little bit of an edge over Everett Skybolt going into that turn, but that berm kind of hindered Mothman a little bit. Everett Skybolt kind of gaining a little bit of ground on him. Mothman holding on to the lead, but just barely. Looks like Everett Skybolt might be down a tire. And unfortunately, that's going to cause a hindrance, and Mothman's going to be moving on to the next round, wheeling up over the crush cars.
That was an extremely good run. I was watching him come through this final corner down here, and he just whipped it around there just like the other two that I were talking about. So, the semifinals is going to be an excellent time here.
You're absolutely right. But, Ben, we need to know who's going to be coming out for the semifinals because we got Whiskey Maneuver who took on Broad Street Bully and put Broad Street Bully back out on the trailer. However, the run that we had between Bombshell and Smash Squad, Bombshell went down a couple of tires, and we're hearing there might be speculations of a disqualification. And obviously, Smash Squad went up and decided to do a forward momentum front flip. So who we have for this matchup?
So the word I'm getting from the track official is that Broad Street Bully is going to be one brought back. And he's going to run a repeat. He's going to run a repeat matchup of round 2 against Whiskey Maneuver, and then you're going to have TMNT versus Mothman. That should be worth the price of admission when we get going there.
So we have a rematch of the quarterfinal between Whiskey Maneuver and Broad Street Bully come back out. So do you think EG lately, while he was in the pits, maybe he may have learned something watching everybody's run? Maybe he's like, I'm going to come out here, I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Or maybe he's hoping that maybe the pressure might get to Mr. Jonathan Robinson in Whiskey Maneuver, and maybe he'll just be able to come out with a win and surprise everybody. But who knows?
That's good. That's a good possibility. I mean, you can learn a lot from watching your competitors and applying it to what you got going on too. I mean, guys, I know they'll watch the stream as well and see and learn something from, maybe I have a different camera angle that they're not thinking of, and they learn something from just watching me. So I mean, these guys right here are extremely competitive, but it's all for fun as well. So we're going to have to see who comes out on the top on this one.
You're absolutely right. We don't got no cash. We don't have no big. We have a point system. Yes, we don't have no trophy. We don't have anything riding on this. But I got to say, I love this community. I love the camaraderie we have. We all joke and josh every weekend. But the best part, when the helmets go down, it's time for war.
And there's a war right there. Whiskey Maneuver out front. I don't know if EG was sleeping on the line or what the deal was, but he's slightly behind right now. A lot of bouncing coming through that corner.
A little bit of bouncing. He's got to really find some ground, pick up the pace, or really hope that Jonathan Robinson is going to roll her over, because right now seeing that truck is hopping up a little bit in that turn. But so far, it looks like Whiskey Maneuver, Jonathan Robinson, is going to be moving on to the final round.
Yeah, a lot of hopping action coming out of that. That actually might hinder him if he finds himself behind against somebody in the finals. And he might end up flipping that truck over. I hope I don't jinx him with that, knock on wood. But, I mean, that's a real possibility as much as that truck's hopping around.
You're absolutely right. But here's the thing. We know Jonathan Robinson in that truck in Whiskey Maneuver has been one of our top competitors all season long through all 4 events. And you've got 2 competitors he's going to be running against that some of the top, if not the fastest competitors that we have in the circuit. And it's Eli and TMNT, or it's Chris Gosler and Mothman.
And these 2 right here, it's been a dogfight between these 2. These guys are first in points, and Mothman's a little bit further down because he missed an event. But he flat puts on a charge every single time he comes out here, and he's going to push that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck with Eli behind the wheel. He's going to push him to his absolute limit right here.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do, whoever wins this race, I want to get them up in the commentator booth. I want to get their thoughts before they go into the final round, because whoever wins this is going to be lining up against Jonathan Robinson for the final round. For the finals here at our Community Clash Event 4 here at Pinewood Hills Speedway.
That smoking out of both trucks actually is kind of worrying me. I'm wondering if they might have some engine damage or something like that, slowing them down. Well, we're about to find out.
Mosquito repellent.
That could be, or they think they're 007. There's the green right there. Both of them come flying out of the hole, and it's pretty neck and neck right now.
It's very close. There's smoke everywhere from both trucks. Both rear engines are having.
Guard has a tire down. Chris Gosler lost a tire. Oh, this isn't looking good for him. He's behind. Oh, he swung that last turn really, really wide. He's not going to have anything for him. Eli is going to be moving on. Number 1 and number 2 in the points are going to meet in the finals of the Community Clash Monster Truck Series.
Looks like Chris Gosler kind of broke the left front off that Mothman truck coming into that final jump and tore it up. Tough break for Chris Gosler.
Now let's see if we can get Eli in here. I want to talk to him and see what he thinks. Well, Eli, it's final time again, and you're in there.
Oh, I did make it. Okay. Sweet. They were saying that I broke something, or I can't see them inside the truck, but
I think they were just trying to jinx you. I think they're trying to get in your head back there in the pits.
hey, I'm fine with it. But hey, me and Braun went into points.
I was gonna say, what are you thinking, man? This is the big Kahuna. This is the finals, number 1 and 2. This is our equivalent of you've got Gravedigger and Max D, Bigfoot versus USA 1. This is number 1, number 2. What's going through your head right now?
I mean, I don't gotta make it to the next round, so the truck will either end in pieces or run first. So we'll see.
All right, you heard it here, Ben. It's time for me to get the old camera out, get the flash bulbs going. So this is gonna be a good one.
It's checkers or records. Always making the highlight reel here on Community Clash Monster Truck Series. Good luck to you, Eli.
Thank you.
Well, the final round set. I don't know if we'd be able to get a hold of Jonathan Robinson to see what he thinks. Well, Jonathan, you are here in the finals, my friend. And how you think you did getting here?
I got the nickname Bridesmaid because I've been here 3 times.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll be able to put it together on this go-around. Never the bride. Maybe your luck will be turning around on this go-around.
Hold on. I was going to say, I'll throw some bouquet of flowers out real quick. Maybe you'll be able to catch them, and hopefully that means you get a win. But I know last time we saw you go to the finals, you ended up on your lid. We just want to know if you got anything different for a strategy or, same thing as your competitor. He's saying he's going for checkers or wreckers, so either he's going to win or he's going to put that truck in pieces.
Same here. You saw what I lived up to it last week. We're going to try and do it again.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Get in the truck. Get ready. Give him hell.
Will do.
Great racing so far tonight, Spence. Great racing.
Oh man, this is what it's all about, man. I love this community. I love the competition aspect. I love the excitement, adrenaline these guys got. And I've noticed when we bring Eli out of his comfort zone, kind of getting him to do interviews, he's kind of opening up a little bit. And the fact that the guys in the back were like, "Oh, he didn't even know that he made it to the finals." Everyone kept saying he broke. So I'm real excited to see how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, Whiskey Maneuver is actually our number 1 qualifier tonight. So Eli, I want to say he was number 2. These two were the fastest in qualifying. So fastest in qualifying, first and second in points. That should be a barn burner.
Hypothetically, Ben, what happens if we have a double rollover?
Then we all win. That's what it is. That's what it's all about now. And there's the green light. Eli pulling a massive wheelie off the starting line.
He's not holding back for anybody. He doesn't care who he's lining up against. He's going to give that truck 110%. And it looks like Eli and Team NT has got a pretty demanding lead, about a half a truck length. Unless Jonathan Robinson can really swing that truck around, find a little bit extra power coming into the final stretch of the line.
Went up the ramp sideways. Man, that was crazy.
That was insane. What a hell of a race from both competitors. Eli, your number 1 points leader in the community clash. Oh, well, looks like a little bit of body shop or body work for both trucks this week. Jonathan Robinson came in a little bit hot to congratulate his competitor. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your winner, Eli in TMNT. Do we want to get both these guys back up here and talk to them, or?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me see if I can run them down.
Ooh, Eli. Wow.
It was a little salty on that one.
I think maybe his brakes got a little bit hot because he came in and it looks like you got a little bit of fender work you got to do in the body shop this week, buddy. But, man, great race from both you guys this evening all the way through to the final round. Prawn, I know you came up a little bit short, man, but that truck was hopping up. You came over the jump sideways. Man, how you feeling, man? We just got to ask.
I put the foot to it. I will definitely say that. I say I threw some junk together. I somehow got fast time. I made it this far. Hopefully next time I can make it a little bit further.
Absolutely. You guys are literally our top contenders in the community series and the Clash in points. Eli, you get another win under your belt, another W to add to the portfolio. Going from straight line to turning, did you have to change up anything about your approach going into this event?
Well, to be honest, turns are hard in these things. so big, so heavy. It's just you gotta take all that experience, all that chaos, and try to make it go straight and then turn. It don't always work, but tonight it did. So praise
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys both so much. We'll let you guys get tired out and get ready for the end of the night. Ben, tonight was an excellent night for racing. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's always a lot of fun hanging out with you, Spence. I'm telling you, these guys right here putting it to the wood out here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Some of the top monster truck racers in our community are out here giving it their all and doing what they can to see if they can take home a win. We're all super competitive out here, but it's all about fun, like we were saying earlier. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I see our sport and our mod taking off.
Absolutely. And Ben, I think I don't know if we said this the last time, but we're going to the Hall of Fame this year in November, and man, it is going to be a blast. So not only do we get to show our appreciation and love for this mod, we actually get to have some of the people that, you know, created these trucks back in the day take a look at this mod firsthand. And honestly, for you and the guys that grew up in that era, I'm a 90s baby, so you know, I was around when tube chassis were kind of in the beginning stages. It's got to mean the world to you, and I'm super excited to be there alongside you at the Monster Truck Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, I mean, I can't tell you, you know, being a little kid and walking up to Mr. Kramer or Mr. Hoosier and handing him my program and having him sign it, or taking a picture beside Bigfoot when I was, you know, 4 or 5 years old, maybe even 3 years old, with my little Bigfoot hat on and my little vest, you know, because it was the 80s. That's what we did as kids. I mean, and to be able to share this thing with these guys is going to be so awesome. And I'm really looking forward to it, you know, having permission from the Hall of Fame to actually set up our stuff and let the old guys try it. You know, we're going to feel like we're kids again because we get to see our favorite guys do it one more time, but in a virtual setting.
Absolutely, man, and it's going to be a blessing. But hey, for all you guys that are tuning in and watching this video, if you think you got what it takes and you want to come out and run with some of these guys, join our Discord, sign up, bring your truck, be sure to be a part of our practice and qualifying days, and you can qualify for our events here at the Community Clash. It is open to everybody. So if you think you got what it takes to take on some of these guys that you saw here tonight, remember, our buddy Bucket was running this week with just one hand. So if you have at least 2 operating hands, more than likely you'll be able to qualify for one of our events. But if you want to beat the rest, or if you want to be the best, you got to beat the rest. I'm sorry, I kind of messed that up there, Ben.
Absolutely, and we got a lot of people out there, you know, that asked for online leagues. They wanted to race, and you know, when are y'all doing something for the community? Well, here it is, and you better come get it while it's still here, because these guys right here, they're a handful, and they're a lot of fun to race with. You want to come out here and, like, you know, that's the tagline. You want to be the best, you got to beat the rest. Well, you know, Eli's showing that you got to beat him right now. That's all there is to it.
You're absolutely right. It sounds like you might be a little bit jealous. Sounds like what's that silver truck we run with all the time that's usually wrecking or kind of bringing up the pack or whatever? It sounds like he might need to come out of retirement and see what that TMNT truck is all about. But anyway, Ben, it's been fun. It was a great time with you. How about you send her off?
All right, guys. So, a couple weeks. I don't even remember where we're going. I'm so excited. I think we're going to the. Oh,
hey,
man.
You're in charge of all this. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know. I made the
You're
schedule
the
a
one that books
while
the rental
ago.
cars, the
Oh,
hotel.
that's right.
Like, what the heck?
We're going to one of the favorite places that everybody always asked us for, and we finally delivered. We're going to Oil X Speedway in Florida for the figure 8 racing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you
boy.
wanted me to bring that up or not, but the figure 8 racing is going to be epic. You know, all these guys, if you want to join the Community Clash, now would be the time, because this is the track that everybody always asked for, and it's actually out here, and we're going to race it.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be absolutely chaotic figure 8 racing, just like the old, I think it was Louisville, Kentucky Speedway.
Yep.
I could be wrong there from way back in the
you're
TNNT
right.
days. Oh, man, it is going to be insane. All I got to say is, guys, please make sure you got new brake pads. You're going to need to make sure you stop after the finish line. We don't want anyone running into the into the wall. But anyway, I'm rambling on too much. Ben, Thank you again so much. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody that's been watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. We'll friggin' see you later.